So China continues to escalate tensions with Taiwan in the South China Sea through large-scale military exercise, this one dubbed Joint Sword 2024 Bravo. China even released menacing videos showing big hand-wave graphics of them taking Taiwan. Yeah, just ask Russia how easy it is to invade your neighbor, and Ukraine isn't separated from Russia by 130 kilometers of ocean. Now, these Chinese operations, which involved the deployment of 125 Chinese military aircraft and 17 naval ships, simulated a blockade of Taiwan and attacks on key sea and land targets on the Taiwanese mainland. Now, China purposefully executed these drills during Taiwan's National Day because they're frustrated at the fact that Taiwan is exercising their sovereignty. And Taiwanese President Lang Chite delivered a speech on National Day emphasizing just that Taiwan's sovereignty and the island's democratic values remain intact. Now, while Lai's speech was measured, he did state that the Republic of China is not subordinate to the People's Republic of China, which clearly struck a nerve with Beijing. Now, most of you probably already know, but I'm just going to rehash it. The Chinese government views Taiwan as part of its territory and has long threatened to reclaim the island by force if it formally declares independence. Now, this exercise was framed by China as a stern warning to what it calls Taiwan's separatist forces. According to Chinese military spokesman Li Ji, the drills aimed to test the joint capabilities of China's Army, Navy, Air Force, and Rocket Force, all coordinated by the Eastern Theater Command. Beijing claims these operations are necessary to safeguard national sovereignty. The thing is, they believe Taiwan is a part of that national sovereignty. In response, Taiwan's military scrambled jets, deployed anti-air and anti-ship missiles, and monitored Chinese warships as they navigated dangerously close to Taiwanese waters. But they didn't actually enter them. Taiwan's defense ministry condemned the exercise as unreasonable provocations and accused China of attempting to undermine regional peace. President Lai convened a national security meeting to address these threats, reaffirming that Taiwan will not be intimidated and saying China's continued use of force to coerce neighboring countries does not align with the expectation of the international community. One of the more interesting aspects of this drill was the involvement of China's Coast Guard. This is the first time they've been involved in these military drills, and they encircled the island in a coordinated effort with the military, clearly signaling that Beijing is determined to establish a law enforcement presence in the waters surrounding Taiwan, as well as a military presence. The U.S., for its part, has expressed deep concern over China's military posturing. Matthew Miller, a spokesman for the U.S. State Department, criticized China's actions, calling them an unnecessary escalation in response to a routine speech by Taiwan's president. Now, in case you didn't know, the United States has long maintained security commitments to Taiwan, and any disruption to the Taiwan Strait, which serves as a critical shipping lane, could have global consequences. Multiple powerful navies have an interest in keeping that lane open, including the US, the United Kingdom, South Korea, India, and Japan. But these Chinese exercises really serve a broader strategic purpose for China. By regularly conducting military drills around Taiwan, Beijing is trying to normalize these provocative actions. According to Wen T-sung, a fellow at the Atlantic Council's Global China Hub, China is inching closer to creating a new status quo where such military posturing becomes routine. Sung argues that Beijing is trying to desensitize the international community by carefully calibrating each drill to avoid a coordinated global response. One key element of this strategy is to use quote-unquote gray zone tactics, or actions that just fall short of open warfare but serve to erode the opposition's defenses and morale. What's even more interesting is China is facing some financial distress within their domestic economy, but continued to spend a staggering amount on these exercises. In 2023 alone, Beijing spent over $15 billion deploying warships and conducting Air Force flights, most of which were recorded in the Taiwan Strait, and actually provided an intelligence boom for the US, the UK, the Japanese, South Koreans, and Taiwanese. And while China does not likely have the means to execute an effective blockade, let alone invade and take Taiwan, they can still be a regional menace. The question is how long will countries like Taiwan, the Philippines, and Japan continue to tolerate Chinese belligerence, especially when all of these countries are increasing arms production and further integrating with the United States and the United Kingdom to counter China in the South and East China Seas?